Hello everybody. Welcome back to the Catch the Beat World Cup 2020. I'm here, Sekre, joined by Snow Leopard.
How's it going?
Going great. We had a little bit of a time to cast last night together, for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was pretty good. We decided to give that another shot today, and here we are for Russia versus Canada.
Oh yeah, this matchup is going to be pretty close, I think. Both these teams coming out pretty strong. Canada showing up really strong with their performances last week. Ended up taking first in the group. Russia, although they did lose to the United Kingdom, they still ended up taking that second spot in the group. So now they're here facing off against Canada.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Both teams very strong. Canada absolutely just smurfing this tournament so far, showing up in all those group stage matches that were quite surprising. So I think this one's going to be a really close one. I'm hoping we can see a tiebreaker even.
Tiebreaker possible? We shall see. Anyways, here we are getting into the warm-ups. Gonna have Trioplex Regatta, apparently. Never seen this before, have you?
I have not.
I wonder what this is. 222.
Yeah, 240 BPM. I don't think I've heard of the mapper either. Just 1450.
Usually when you see numbers, you think of Italian mappers, but that is not the case. They usually have the long string of numbers, you know?
Yeah.
There's also that one player who has his name as the user ID. Forgot which team you play for.
Yeah, I remember that. He was in World Cup. I forget what team though.
Yeah. Imagine having a user ID as 1450. That would be pretty insane.
Yeah, actually, if I had that user ID, maybe I would make that my name as well. Just kind of
right?
That low user ID.
I'd be out there saying, "Hey, that's my user ID. I'm old. I've been here since the very beginning."
Peppy hand-selected me to play this game.
Oh yeah. Back in my days, there weren't no thing as hyper dashes.
What's a convert? There is no convert.
Yeah. All I know is map.
It's just map, yeah.
Seems like we're gonna get started with the first warm-up here any second now.
And based on Zerkarian putting that link out there, I want to say this is probably Canada's pick, possibly.
I think that might be the link for the next warm-up.
Oh, true, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is Russian in the background for the song.
Okay.
It's very quiet, so I can't really hear it that well, but I think it is. I'm not so sure though.
I just realized I had the stream muted, so that's why I couldn't hear it.
Nice.
Fixed that.
Heading off to a great start.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's Russian. I was waiting to hear that. Yeah, that's definitely Russian.
Asking two Americans to figure out a foreign language, it's not going to go well most of the times.
Actually, ironically, behind Spanish, Russian is the foreign language I know the most.
Really?
Yeah.
It's pretty surprising.
Learned Spanish for about 3 years, and I've been trying to self-learn Russian for a number of years. Hasn't gone as well as having, actual classes from an actual teacher, but I do know very small bits and pieces of Russian.
So you're going to translate this whole map for me, aren't you?
Yeah, obviously.
Great. Anyways, we have all the players going with no bot, except for Henrik. Easy flashlight. Having a great time over there.
Oh yeah, Henrik taking an easy stroll through the park with this one.
I'm going to lower these hit sounds.
Yeah, anything I can't translate, I will blame on the hit sounds.
It's true.
A little sad Nelly didn't pick the warm-up I suggested. It was another interesting Russian song.
Which one was it? I know a few.
It was Putin's Boner. Classic one from Sotarks, I believe.
Love that song. Map from Hellblind, isn't it, right?
Yeah.
So many good Russian songs that are kind of iconic in the standard community.
Oh yeah, I happened to just random spin onto it in my maps the other day, and I played it, and I was like, Nelly has to play this as the warm-up. This would be great. So I suggested it to him.
Speaking of Nelly, they got a pretty good combo, actually. Look at that.
Yeah, it looks like Nelly's pretty practiced on this one. Although I would imagine as the captain, he was the one who picked the warm-up, so not super surprising there. A little less than a quarter of this warm-up left.
Yep. And getting into the other teams, one Team Canada as well. You know, part of me wants to think, what kind of maps are these two teams going to play?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, the further we get into the World Cup, the more and more it's like, you know, I don't know anymore. These teams are so good at everything.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know both of these teams super well. We did have a scrim against Team Canada, Team USA that is. So we got to know a little bit about them. But even then, group stage isn't really that telling of what a team could really do. Most teams can do everything in group stage, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think towards the end we'll see more specialized picks coming out as the maps get harder and harder.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, looks like we're going to get Proto Flicker. I have a Mania version of this map, and it's a really good song.
Ooh. Map by _ WWW.
The man with all the dubs.
Yep. Top side of the Canadian team. I'm surprised they didn't go for some sort of Fuhi map.
Yeah, this one, at least from the stats, appears to be a fairly normal warm-up. Maybe they're wanting to take the warm-up a bit more seriously.
Possibly.
See in chat, we got people discussing this match with maple syrup versus vodka.
Oh,
the ultimate matchup.
I gotta choose vodka on that one, honestly.
Yeah. Never been a huge fan of maple syrup, actually.
I remember there was one time where, after CWC, I think it was 2017, we were having a stream with a group of friends, and Z-Trot, I'm sure quite a few people in the OS community know him. He used to cast World Cups way back in the day, like, 2014, 2015, all those years. He drank a whole bottle of maple syrup, just chugged it. We were like, how are you doing this, man?
What a god.
That's the legend of Z-Trot right there. I wish we could bring him back sometime. Great.
Oh yeah, that would be a fun time. So I gotta say, yeah, I've never been a fan of maple syrup. However, if we change Canada's thing from maple syrup to poutine, then that is a really tough choice. Poutine is really good.
That is true. Next, the Elisa coming with the relaxed and easy hidden flashlight.
So yeah, maybe my thought of Canada taking the warm-up more seriously was not quite true, at least not for Henrik. I think it's the second time he's done easy flashlight.
He's just having a great time. Sitting in his corner jamming out with his easy hidden flashlight, yeah. Don't mind me, I'm just having fun. That's what it's all about here anyways. Having a great time.
Oh, for sure. Nelly holding an SS, so I think Nelly was doing pretty good, had a pretty good combo in the last warm-up too. Nelly looks ready to go. Actually, kind of ironic that Nelly has a better combo than the actual mapper itself. WWW, about 100 combo behind.
Is it gonna keep it though? That's the question. Your song's a banger, actually.
Yeah, no,
I've never listened to this before.
Yeah, I have like one mania difficulty of it, and it's really hard. So I was always said, that I would fail it, but I would play it anyway because it was fun up until I failed.
Of course. Seems like we may be having a issue with the stream a little bit.
Yeah, there's a bit of a lag there, and now it sounds like the audio might be dead.
That's okay. We got players playing, except for Uncareful. Maybe he disconnected, possibly.
Possible. That could be the cause of the music being off.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because typically the tournament client picks one of the 6 players, and that's where it gets the hit sounds and music from.
Yep, it's always the player number 1. Oh, there it
Yep,
is.
there we go. Yeah,
We got some music now, boys.
looks like Zerkarian in that time frame actually failed.
You could say he wasn't being.
Uncareful, wanting to finish out the song, despite everyone else already being done.
We could watch him hold dash.
Yeah, never one to quit. Gonna finish it all the way out for us.
Oh, he's not finishing. We don't let him finish here. He actually finished. It's just this. Anyways, gonna be moving on to the rolls very shortly.
Nelly with an 85.
That's pretty. And then Circadian rolling a 72. So the rolls go to Russia. Now, I really don't know what they're going to ban or what they're going to pick, if I'm being honest. I think we might see Russia try to get maybe hidden 3. It's a possibility.
Yeah, I could see that. It looks like Zerkarian has lost all 4 rolls that he's done so far.
Oh, yes.
Gonna have to let that man win a roll one of these times.
See Canada banning Nomad 3, actually. Probably one of the less conventional Nomad picks. Also mapped by one of the players on the side of Russia. So maybe they're saying, hey, we don't like your map. You know?
Yeah. Like, we already know what this map's all about, and we want nothing to do with it.
Yep. You know everything about this map because you mapped it. We're not letting you pick it. Usually in this World Cup, though, we've seen players are not doing good on their own maps, as we saw with Team Philippines. I think they've lost all the maps that a Philippine mapper has picked. I think they're like 0-4 or 0-5 on their own maps or something like that.
Oh wow! Yeah, and when you first said that, I was thinking of the match that I casted yesterday. It was South Korea versus Chile, where it was their own picks that they were bad. I'm like, I want to say over half of the points that match were break points.
Yeah, it was quite a lot. You see Hard Rock 3 coming in as a band from Rock. A little surprised about that. I think they'd pretty good Hard Rock players, and Careful.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I believe Canada has good on Hard Rock.
That too, yeah. First pick gonna be Nomad 5 on the side of Russia. Long convert, all about consistency.
Dancer in the Discord. Not the official song of Discord, but maybe one day.
It is a great song. You know, I kind of want to map this just because it's such a good.
I don't think I'm super familiar with this song, but there's a lot of the like anime songs that I'm not as familiar with.
Oh yeah, I'd never heard this song until this weekend, but now I like it. You know.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't think I've seen this one being played yet.
Overall, I'd say this is a pretty good pick for the side of Russia. It's more of a consistency test and say, hey, can you keep up? Can you keep up that consistency that you guys had last week to get first in the group?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Canada's been popping off, but no one was expecting them to pop off quite that hard. So that is kind of the question now that we're in a round of 16. Was that just a good weekend, or are they really just that strong this year?
Yep. See Uncareful in the chat saying, "No way, Imai Lisa's map is banned."
Also, Bobber asking if he can guess difficulty for you when you map this on. So look at that. I already got a GG.
Dude, it's just too easy.
It's too easy.
Now the hard part is getting a B under rank it. That's the real difficult part.
Yeah. Mapping a song is one thing. Getting it ranked, whole another beast.
Alright, Bobber, I want you to make me a 4.5 minute long salad. It's gonna be great, right? Please don't actually make me a 4.5 minute long salad. It won't go anywhere, probably. Don't worry about it. Anyways, here we are. Getting into the first map. See Uncareful, Nelly, and Kitsune Ivy on the side of Russia.
Yeah, they're carrying www and Yoshi Reed on Canada's side.
A little surprised that Fuhi's not playing this. Fuhi, known as one of the more skilled Canadian players, I'd say.
Yeah, maybe they're gonna save them for some later picks that they think are gonna be a bit harder. This is the Nomad pool, so in theory, it's probably one of the more easier maps that could be picked.
It's all about consistency and hitting some of these farther edge jump patterns, as well as these 1/4 dashes right here. I just saw some of them.
Yeah, definitely a couple of little consistency jumps, but nothing too crazy so far. This is a 204 BPM song though, so things could definitely speed up as we get into more of like a chorus.
Everybody hitting the notes before the intro, but then we get a double miss from Uncareful and www, followed by Yoshi.
So yeah, that would have evened out if it wasn't for Yoshi Green's miss. But with Yoshi Green missing, that's going to be an advantage to Russia as they're building up quite a bit of a score lead right now.
Oh, that's a huge double miss.
Yeah, that's going to just further the lead that Russia started building. With Nelly and Kitsune holding that combo really well. Both of them with the double S.
Being able to combo that part right there with the 1/4 hyper dash is really important for this map. So the ending just gets a little bit harder and harder to hold consistency on.
Ooh, Kitsune actually gonna drop now though, so it's just Nelly left with the full combo. Everyone else has dropped at least once.
Yeah, that's gonna bring the match within one drop. So if Russia gets one more drop, then it's gonna slightly swing it to Canada's favor, most likely.
Yeah, we still have over half the map left, so there's plenty of time for Canada to make it back if Nelly does find a drop.
Here we go, coming into the second TI. There is that second drop that we mentioned right there.
Yeah, it's gonna be coming from Kitsune. Although Yoshi Green gonna trade it back a little bit later.
Yeah, but it is traded back with a little bit of a smaller combo at 50, so it's not as meaningful. But it's still there. You see Russia holding a lead of about 30,000 points. That's gonna stay static for quite a bit, unless you find more misses on the side of Russia.
Yeah, at this point they just have two combos above 200, same as Canada. So there's not too much advantage that can go Canada's way, even though I believe they hit that third 200 just a few combo before. So Carrion gonna drop now. It's gonna let Russia go even further with their lead. Not looking good for Canada as we're only about a quarter of the map left at this point.
Oh yeah, it's really not good, especially because this is the slow part. This is the part where you really want your combo to be getting a lot of extra points. Everything from here on out is pretty difficult. As you see right there.
Yeah, Yoshi dropping about 2 or 3 notes there as he kind of just missed that jump.
That miss might spell the defeat of Canada on this first map.
Yeah, at this point, Russia has such a massive lead, and there's not that much of the map left. I don't see Canada coming back. Although Uncareful is going to drop. If Yoshi Green had more of a combo there, I'd say maybe, but fortunately he didn't have the combo to help them take advantage of that miss from Uncareful. Nelly's still holding on super strong with the full combo. Oh, might just end the match with it.
Would be pretty nice to see a full combo on this. Map's not that easy. Can he hit the last part? Will we see it? Hey, he did it.
Hey, he did it. So Nelly, I thought he was looking really warmed up in those warm-ups, and indeed he is, coming out with an FC on the very first map.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Pretty much carrying his team, I'd say. Having the highest score out of anyone in the lobby, of course, with the FC.
Oh yeah, I mean, getting a FC on a 4-minute map, just in general, that's already pretty impressive. That is more than enough time to make a stupid mistake and just barely miss a note somewhere, but he held on the entire time.
Oh yeah. Now we get to see the first pick of Team Canada. Russia winning their own pick. That was the last pick. Maybe they'll try to go for something different.
Yeah, Yoshi Green in chat saying, I don't think I've lagged harder in a match before, so possibly had a bit of difficulty there with some lag. Fortunate.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate, but gotta make do with what you're given, you know?
Yeah, it looks like he said he's going to try and restart his client, so hopefully that'll fix that up for him, and he'll be good to go for the further maps. So they're going to be picking Double Time 1, Replica.
Pretty good pick, I'd say, from State of Canada.
It's a Crowley map. I've seen a lot of chatter about Crowley maps and Bunray maps.
Dude, I love Crowley. That guy's one of my favorite people in those community. If you're watching Crowley, this one's just for you, Brown. I hope he's watching. Little inside joke. Somebody will clip it anyways and send it to him, I bet.
Oh, probably. That means you, chat. This is your time to shine.
Oh yeah.
Flip that and spam Crowley with it.
That'd be great. He's gonna wake up tomorrow morning.
It's like 50 pings, like what the hell?
You got mentioned on the stream.
Yeah, I haven't been keeping up with the Catch World Cup Discord too much, but every time I have been, Crowley's in there talking with someone.
Oh, he's in the chat actually right now too. My man.
Hey, there he is.
Yeah, this is the consistency double time. Very possible to get a lot of FCs on this map.
Yeah, hopefully this will be going a little bit better for Canada. They were struggling a little bit on Nomad, but like we said, one of their players was apparently having some lag, so looks like they're going to switch him out. Going to get Henrik in instead of Yoshi Green while he fixes that.
You know, I'm still surprised. No Fuhi. Maybe he's not here.
It's possible, yeah.
That would be a pretty big blow to the side of Canada. I see it as one of the most promising players in recent times.
Depending on what part of Canada he's in, it's probably around noon or 1 p.m. for him right now, so...
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. It's possible he was up late last night and sleeping in a little bit.
I actually see Kitsune going with Hidden on this.
I wonder if that's going to be foreshadowing of a hidden pick coming from Russia at some point here. Normally when you see hidden on like Double Time or Hard Rock, that's comes from a hidden player who's just extra confident on hidden in general.
The thing about that is, though, the side of Russia, I don't think they're really known for playing hidden. I don't think Nelly's that great on hidden, and he seems to be playing really well today, so I think taking him out when he's playing well is not the best of ideas, but...
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Nelly definitely on fire today. Oh, thus far, we still have everybody with a full combo. No misses yet. A bit of accuracy dropped here and there. Only WWW with the SS.
Yeah, all players actually FCing up to this point, which is pretty incredible, honestly.
Yeah, we're about 2/3 of the way through the map. And Canada has just the slightest bit of advantage. Not sure if that's from the accuracy or possibly the spinner.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the spinners. We'll get to see right here, I think. Oh yeah, that's a huge spinner lead. That's a 4,000 points.
Yeah, so it looks like Canada playing the spin to win strat so far. You know, you're talking about how we might see a lot of FCs, and it's possible we might even see 6 FCs, as there's only less than a quarter of the map left.
I didn't expect 6, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I expected maybe like 3, something like that.
Yeah, when he said a lot, I was like, okay, it'll be like 2, 3, maybe 4. But yeah, no, we're heading into the last section of the song with 6 FCs so far.
It's actually an incredible performance. Anyone gonna miss at the very end? That would be so sad. Hold the combo just a little bit longer. They did it.
Yeah, we're gonna get 6 FCs. Crowley just maps too well. It's too intuitive.
That is really impressive though. 6 FCs. Canada taking the lead on that map though, just because of the spins. You can see the huge spin differences on the side of Canada compared to Russia.
Yeah, Uncareful, not super happy with his accuracy, but overall, I gotta say, he FC'd, his whole team FC'd. They did a really good job. Unfortunately, Canada just spinning a little bit harder.
It's actually quite a bit harder too. It was like 6,000 points, something like that. Ended up being, that's like, quick maths.
Yeah, little quick maths going here. I want to say like 30.
Bananas,
16?
Yeah, each banana is 392. 6,000 points is about something like that, I think.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
It's quite a bit.
So that's going to bring us 1-1. No breakpoints yet. It's going to be Russia's pick so they can get a second point going.
I think they go back to Nomad probably. I think
that's possible. They were looking good on it. Possible we might see Nomad 4 or Nomad 6, seeing those been talked about and picked quite a bit so far.
Very possible. I feel like Nomad 1 would be the best pick for Canada possible. Just because of the spin.
Yeah. You know, Nomad 2, the only Nomad we didn't talk about.
True. This is more the consistency pick.
Ooh, this mapper.
Oh yeah, Kira. Gotta love his maps.
I have I have a handful of his maps, and they're always super good.
Yep.
Definitely an underrated mapper.
Some parts, but all these players can FC it, I'd assume. Just can you FC it in the match? That's the question.
So they're carrying Conan for Yoshi to come back. So it looks like he's hopefully fixed whatever lag issues he was having and can give it another shot now for this Nomad pick. At least thus far, it looks like Russia is going to stay with the same 3, Nelly, Kitsune, and Uncareful.
Yep, those seem to be the 3 strongest members on the side of Russia, playing most of the maps.
It's going to be a couple seconds here while we get Yoshi back in. So while we're waiting, I see more talk of vodka and some other foods and stuff. What are all of you guys snacking on right now for Catch World Cup? I always like checking in and seeing what's going on with that. Yesterday I made some bacon and eggs. I have not done anything for CWC food yet today. But maybe if one of you guys has a good suggestion, I can get some of that going.
I had some mac and cheese.
Ooh, that does sound good.
Oh yeah. Pretty nice. ID mandates in the chat saying I'm eating nothing.
Yeah. Man, that one, as tasty as that sounds, I might have to look at some other suggestions. Daisy the King, snacking on the tears of our opponents. That is always a power move.
Oh yeah. Establish your dominance.
Sweet potatoes and hamburgers. I do have some potatoes I need to use. So I might use some potatoes. I need to go shopping in general after that. But yeah, tell you what, if Russia wins in celebration of a Russian victory, I will use my potatoes to make some great potato dishes, possibly even Russian-inspired dishes.
So what are you going to do if Canada wins, huh?
Probably go shopping. I don't know if I have any Canadian food.
Pour some maple syrup on those potatoes and call it a day.
There we go. Yeah, I'll pour maple syrup on the potatoes to show Canada taking a victory on top of Russia.
I wonder how that would taste. I kind of don't want to know, but I kind of do at the same time.
Yeah, it does not sound very appetizing, but sometimes you got to do it. So we are going to get into the map here. It looks like Henrik's back in, so there may have been some issues getting Yoshi back in.
Possibly.
Or maybe he discovered last second that he actually was not ready. But either way, it's going to be the same squad for Canada in that case. Puff with the interesting note there that they actually pour syrup on mashed potatoes in southern Sweden. Apparently that is a thing.
You know what's more surprising? Uncareful's missed right before the 200 combo mark, I think. I think he missed at 198.
That is a very unfortunate spot to miss. That's going to give a pretty good advantage over to Canada.
Oh yeah, but Zakarian finds the miss right after it. So I think if he missed at 198, then Canada's going to be slightly down, I don't know, maybe like a fraction of a point at the end after Zakarian hits that 200 combo point.
Yeah, but score difference not very much right now.
Oh yeah.
And it could very quickly swing over to Russia's side. They're within 1,000 or 2 at this point. That blue bar jumping back and forth very close to the middle.
It's going to be so close. Both of these teams FC, I think that score gap is like 170 points or something like that right now.
Yeah, it's extremely close. Looks a little less close than it actually is just because of the delay involved in trying to add up all the scores and compare them. But we'll
actually might be droplets. Is that score gap, I think.
Oh, yeah. They're trying to make a miss.
That's not miss. That's like a catastrophe, honestly. That was like 10 notes.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge advantage over to Russia. Zakarian desperately trying to get back to that 200 combo to stop that bleeding. Russia running away with it, and the map is almost over, so that very likely will be fatal for Canada here, unless Russia sees a big miss like that of their own.
Yeah, they're going to need 2 misses to bring it back into even right now. Even 1 miss isn't enough. They need 2 right about here. Not seeing it anywhere.
Kitsune and Nelly just cold as steel, holding on strong with double S's. Not going to let this point slip away.
It wasn't enough to convince you. You've got WWW and Zakarian again, finding another miss right at the end of the map.
Yes, that's going to spell victory for Russia as they take their second point of the match. Yeah, unfortunately, that one miss there from Zakarian really just turned the tide and gave Russia a win. And then those little misses at the end just kind of put the nails in the coffin.
A little unfortunate for the side of Can that Zakarian missed so many notes in one spot. But yeah, well played by Russia.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it was Russia's pick, so not a huge deal for Canada. They're still well on track to make it at least to the tiebreaker, if not the win itself.
Yep.
As they now get to choose their pick, and possibly we might see some more double time. They're looking pretty strong there.
I think that Canada should go with no mod 1. That's what I would bet my money on right now. Bet your money that everybody FCs and then you just outspin them. That would be the hope.
Henrik with the lag, it looks like, as well. Although I believe he held on pretty strong there.
Yeah, he did pretty alright.
That might have been where that one miss came from. Yeah.
Possibly.
So let's see what Zerkarian wants to pick next. Personally, I think it's going to be double time, but we'll see. It could be Hard Rock. That is that is the map that Russia banned, so it's possible they knew that Canada is good on Hard Rock, and that might be their second mod pool to pick from after double time.
We seem to be coming down to the end of the countdown here, so we're gonna need to get a pick.
Yeah, we do not want Canada to let that timer run down, because if that is the case, then the map just gets picked at random.
Oh yeah. Timers are already out, I believe.
The teams do get the option of a tactical timeout once per map.
No mod 1.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna go with no mod 1.
Hey, they listened to me.
Yeah, sometimes that is the pro strat. When in doubt, listen to Sekre, because he is the predictor of all.
Oh yes.
If I remember right, I think the match that I was casting yesterday, South Korea versus Chile, you predicted like every single pick.
Yeah, it was actually kind of insane. I was in Discord talking to a few of my friends, and just sometimes in Twitch chat saying, you should pick them. And then it ended up getting picked, I think, like 7 times in a row at the end of the match. It was kind of insane.
So when in doubt, listen to Sekre. He has the crystal ball.
Now, will my pick be good enough to get Canada the point you asked the question?
Actually, another thing that I should mention is that that match was also one with all the breakpoints. So it's possible, even though you got all the predictions right, the teams actually lost on those picks. So maybe do the opposite of what Sekre says.
Oh dang, you actually found a way to turn it against me.
We gotta do it. We haven't cursed anyone yet, so we gotta make at least something be our fault.
Hey, these guys aren't really missing that much. You can't curse them if they don't miss.
Yeah. I saw an idea in the chat yesterday that when we curse someone, we're actually the ones causing the lag. So right as we talk about someone's high combo, a lag goes through and hits them, and that's how we get the curses going. So it might be in our hands. We just need to talk about those high combos more.
Alright, I'm gonna have to request no commentators for my next match against Korea.
Yeah. No commentators for USA, please?
Yeah, no lag.
Maybe we need only US commentators, so then we can just curse Korea.
Ah, true. That could work. Anyways, getting into this next map. Should see mostly full combos from both these teams.
Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, this map is probably one that's going to come down to the spinners again, which if that's the case, as we've seen so far, this should go into the advantage of Canada, because they've had really strong spins.
Oh yeah. I mean, if both of these two teams can get 6 FCs on that last Crowley double time map, I'm sure they can all FC this one. Might get a random miss, but...
That is true. We do have Yoshi Green and Henrik in right now for Canada. Those are both of the players that were having lag issues. So hopefully they don't have any of that on this map. That would be very unfortunate. Especially since this is Canada's pick.
We FC Kitsune got a drop on this. Probably won't matter with the amount of bananas at the end of the map, but it is possible that it could come into play. Anyways, here we are coming into the hard part of the map. It's like a short 30-second bursty part.
Yeah, lots of snapping jumps in this little course section.
Everybody hitting everything pretty well. The rest of the map is fairly easy from this point out. I'd be a little surprised if we get a miss this late. And there it is!
Nelly. There it is. The curse has completed. Nelly, looking super strong all day today, finally finds his first mistake, the very first slip-up of the match. And unfortunately, that might guarantee the win for Canada. There's not much of the map left.
Oh yeah, there's no way that anyone misses on this ending, right? There we go.
You would hope not. So yeah, Canada doesn't even need to spin to win at this point. Unfortunately, Nelly just barely making one miss, and that is going to secure the point for Canada. Bring us to 2-2.
Yep. Quite unfortunate. But hey, even if that Nelly did FC, I'm almost 100% sure that Russia would have lost anyways, just because of the spins. Look at the differences right there.
Yeah, those scores on the Canada's side, much higher. You can see just between the two FCs on Russia, every single person in Canada had a higher spin.
Nelly would have had to score 6,000 points in bananas more than his teammates to be able to make it even right there. So don't feel too bad, Russia. It was a lost cause anyways at that point.
Maybe that was the tactical advantage. Then they can not give Canada the glory of spinning to win and say, oh, no, you didn't spin to win. Clearly, I just had a bad miss right at the end.
Oh, yes.
It's like surrendering in a game right before the enemy wins. Don't give them the satisfaction of getting the win themselves. We're going to see Russia's pick now. Like I've mentioned a couple times, there hasn't been any breakpoints yet, so really these losses, not a big deal for either team. It's still tied up. Still going to be Russia's pick now. Still right on track for at least the tiebreaker, if not the win.
They might go for Nomad 5 here. It is a map that isn't spin reliant. There's no way that everybody's going to FC that map. I think it's a little too hard for 3 members to get an FC.
I think Nomad 5 was already selected. Are you thinking Nomad 6?
Oh, number 4 is what
Number 4? Yeah.
Sorry.
Very good. So yeah, Nomad 4. Yeah, I've seen this map come out in the South Korea versus Chile match, and it was a pretty close one. I think that one would be an interesting pick. Actually going to go double time.
The short, more difficult, not too difficult as DT3, but still difficult in itself. High BPM, mapped by Jamesu, PH mapper. Love that guy.
Yeah, we actually just saw the last map was also mapped by him.
Oh yeah, that is true.
A couple of his maps in this pool. So yeah, interesting choice to go double time because Canada did win on double time so far, although it was just on a spin, so...
Yeah. See Bobber in chat saying, okay, so they went for the Canadian pick. That is true. You would normally expect something like this from Canada.
Trying to beat Canada at their own game. Hopefully they're thinking that Canada might find some misses here, not just outspin them. I don't know how many spinners are on this map.
I don't even remember myself, honestly.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest, I only played this map one time during my whole practice. Thank God I didn't have to play it in the match.
You can see that USA's practice ethic strong as always.
Oh yes. Hey, I FC'd it on that one time though, so.
Hey, that's true. If you can get the FC, then what more could you ask for?
Very true.
Looks like everybody getting ready here. So far, no roster swaps. Looks like we're going to keep everybody in. Nelly with the Yowoshi Gween.
Oh no, don't bring back the Owo.
My name works with it too well. Because I have a OW in my name already, so.
Oh no. Snowolewopode. Oh no, I can't even say it.
It gets weird if you try to throw it in the leopard, but you can just go with Snowo or Snowo leopard, and it works way too well. It works better than it should.
What about Snowwaprid? I can't.
Snowapod?
Yeah, something like that.
See, we can't do it with yours anymore. It's tech, right? There's no
way.
You
gonna see a miss
get a
from
more
Yoshi.
redeemable name.
And careful.
So that's going to be slight advantage to Canada, I think. Actually, Nelly making a miss, so that's definitely going to be an advantage to Canada. Score swinging their end now.
Yoshi finds a miss right before 200 combo, so it's not going to be
Careful also found a miss, though.
Yep. Canada going to be building up the combos here, building up the score lead. They're about 30,000 points ahead. They're going to build that up to about 50,000 considering no more drops.
Yeah, and we do see WWW and Henrik both at the SS, so very strong points so far.
Yoshi finds a drop though, that's going to be huge. Yeah. There should be enough time to turn this over inside of Russia.
Be very unfortunate to see, seeing as Kitsune's the only one with the full combo, and it is a SS over on Russia's side, so losing a match when you have two SS's and your opponent only has one, that would be very unfortunate. Nelly gonna find a miss though. That is going to help Canada out.
Russia collapsing right at the end. They had the goal in the sights, but then they all collapsed and kind of missed all in the same parts.
Yeah, it was pretty. The score doesn't look like it, but honestly, it was a pretty close matchup. Russia rolling the dice with the Canada pick didn't quite work out. Going to find our first breakpoint going Canada's way. So it's going to be 2-3, and we're going to see a pick from Canada next. They're going to hope to get a fourth point and just kind of keep steamrolling their way to the victory. This one getting pretty hyped.
Oh yeah. Canada actually taking that first break point. Could be pretty big. Now it's their pick. Kinda gotta wonder what they're gonna go for.
Yeah, they do have one double time pick left. They haven't really gone on that so far.
That is true. I think double time 3 would be a very nice pick for them actually.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. There is still the two maps of the Hard Rock Pool open. Hidden Pool hasn't been touched at all.
Oh yeah, they're avoiding that like a plague. I don't blame them.
Yeah, not a hidden player myself, can't blame them, especially the maps that are there for the Hidden Pool. Definitely some difficult ones.
Nelly in chat wondering if they could take a timeout. Apparently on Careful's eyes, not in the best of shape. Really not something that you want to see happening to one of your players mid-match.
Yeah, eyes definitely very important when trying to catch fruit that are flying down the screen.
He does respond with, oh, okay, so that is a bit of an interesting response to that, but
yeah.
I'm not sure if they can take a tactical timeout on the other team's pick. I think they'd have to wait for their own pick, but I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure on how the rules are for that. I think the tactical timeout is a newer thing that's been added.
Yep. Going with hidden number 2. The long, draining, consistency hidden marathon.
Yeah, with that response from Uncareful, it's kind of interesting to see what Nelly meant by that.
Yeah, at least he's not playing this map, I'd assume. Kind of instantly got out of there. He's like, oh, hit it?
Yeah.
Not for me.
Maybe that was Nelly's way of saying you're not performing as well as we hoped.
I think he's been doing just fine.
Go fix your eyes. Or maybe not. Maybe he is having actual issues with eyesight. I have noticed that is a common thing to happen with those two players. It's you either find your kind of wrist injuries or eyesight injuries. We've seen eyesight take down even legends like Cookeasy before, so.
It's kind of funny that we're talking about eyes in this song. One of the vocals is "Close Your Eyes."
Maybe we need Uncareful back in here for that. We'll be ready to go alright. This one is going to be an AR 8.5 hidden, so not quite the AR 8 that is that kind of difficult range, but a little bit slower than 9, so it could pose a little bit of trouble for people who are not as good on hidden.
Yeah, we see same roster for Canada as most of the maps. It's Carrion, Henrik, WWW. See AoE coming in for the side of Russia instead of Careful.
Nelly gonna find an early miss, although they're carrying trading. AoE also gonna find a miss.
Yeah. Carrion does get another miss. It's not gonna be as important as AoE's miss right there, but
yeah. Luckily for Canada, both their misses were from the same player, so they're actually still gonna have a bit of an advantage here, whereas Russia's was split between the two players.
There's another miss and another one from Nelly right there. It's not looking that hot if you're missing in the intro of this map. This map is very consistency based, as we see Carrion finding another one.
Yeah, definitely looking like hidden might not be the strong suit of Russia. Although WWW gonna find a miss.
Yeah, I don't think either of these teams are that strong hidden. I think Canada just picked it saying, okay, well, we're not the best at this, but maybe we can be better than you. And so far, it's kind of working.
Yeah, I mean, they do have the score advantage. It's not huge, but we keep seeing misses coming out from Russia more often than Canada, so it might just be enough to get the win.
See, Kitsune still having that SS compared to Henrik's. I think that is 2 or 3 drop misses.
Yeah, we could also actually be seeing Canada trying to play the mind games here, as they just got a break point off of Russia and then immediately picking a map that perhaps they're not going to be good at, which could be very frustrating. So then if they lose this pick, that could do a real big number on the mental of Russia.
Especially because we're kind of running out of every other map. Still 2 hidden maps left after this too.
So yeah, if you can get your opponent down points and kind of tilted, then that is definitely a strong strategy. Henrik gonna find a miss finally, so Kitsune the only FC left on the map. And as we see this kind of break here, we're gonna see there's about 110,000 score advantage to Canada.
Oh yeah, it's gonna close a little bit, not too much.
Nelly back up to 200. They just need AoE there. Try and get more of a score advantage going. They do have a bit of the advantage though, because Canada only has one person above 200. So that's going to change very quickly if Sir Carrion can make it there.
Yeah, they're going to need a lot of misses from the side of Canada right about now to be able to have a chance to pull this one back. That's not going to help. Wrong team. You're not supposed to miss on this after I told you to FC the rest.
Yeah, Canada all above 200. AoE just clawing back up to 100 himself. Song's almost over. This one's gonna be a win for Canada at this point.
Yeah, it's a bit too late to be able to see a comeback, unfortunately.
Yeah, you'd have to see a player in Canada actually fail the map at this point if Russia was hoping to make a win here.
Can we talk about this FC from Kitsune Ivy though?
Yeah, Kitsune Ivy just really holding it strong for Russia, but unfortunately, with Nelly and AoE struggling, it's not going to be enough.
Dude, that man tried. He put his whole heart into that map, but it just wasn't enough, unfortunately.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this is a 3v3, so you can be the master smurf himself and double S, do everything you can, but at the end of the day, you're going to need your team to back you up. So that is going to be 2-4, Canada's advantage here. It is going to be Russia's pick again, so hopefully they can just reset their mental, not worry about it, pretend that it's 0-0 again, and just focus on getting a good first point here. So at this point, it's very dangerous to become tilted when Canada is just a single point away from match point.
Oh yeah, and based on these two teams, I'd have to give the tiebreaker advantage to Canada as well. Just based on their players and their consistency that they've shown.
Yeah, so with that being the case, at this point, Russia just needs to get every point they can, not let Canada get anything back.
Their answer to that is going to be Hard Rock 2.
So this is one of the pools they banned. However, it hasn't been picked yet, so maybe they were mistaken in banning Hard Rock.
Possibly. This Hard Rock is a little bit easier than most of the other maps. It does have some Hard Rock specific patterns, you know, where the fruits move just a little bit for no reason. Maybe they'll just have those kind of memorized.
The classic Hard Rock experience.
Yes. It's not Hard Rock without fruits moving.
Hey, that's the hard in Hard Rock.
What's the rock then?
Higher AR. Something like that.
The Rock Johnson?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's your personal mascot while you try to navigate all the new fruits and new locations.
I would love that if I had Dwayne The Rock Johnson just cheering me on while I'm playing Catch the Beat.
I mean, honestly, how can you lose? You got a man like that.
You really can't. That's the key to USA beating Korea next week. We gotta get him as our mascot.
I'll see what I can do. I'll give him a call and be like, hey man, I need you to help me out. I need my team to find a win here. It's a big match. Can you make it?
Seems like Russia might be needing a little bit of the rock themselves in this case too.
Yeah, they are going to have Uncareful back in, so hopefully whatever issues he was having have been fixed. Nelly and Kitsune going to be staying in. It doesn't look like Canada's going to update their roster. Uncareful saying Zerkarian Hard Rock. Okay, so he was confused at why Zerkarian wanted to play Hard Rock. Looks like we're actually going to see Fuhi finally. So
Fuhi! Canada
bringing out the big guns.
I was starting to wonder, where is this man? Here he is. You get some hype in the chat for Fuhi, making his first appearance this match.
Looks like Fuhi and Uncareful are friends there. A little bit of friendly back and forth.
It's carrying in the chat saying Fuhi was sleeping in as always. Oh God.
I knew it. That was my. That's exactly what I thought. I looked. I'm like, it's probably about noon to 1 p.m. for them. I know. I personally only woke up by setting alarms for this match, so very possible he was sleeping in as well. It is a weekend.
Man, you're over here saying that you can wake up to 2 p.m. or something like that. 1 p.m. I think would have been for you is when you woke up.
Yeah.
Saying, I have to set an alarm for that. Oh, and I'm sitting here waking up 8 a.m. having to play a match 2 hours later.
Hey, I have to go to work at 8 a.m. 5 days a week, so.
Oh yeah, true. It's not fun.
Yeah, so weekends I normally sleep in, but I can't turn down the chance to cast another good CWC match, so.
Understandable.
I am here nonetheless.
See Kitsune going with Hidden and getting a very early miss from Fuhi.
Yeah, Fuhi possibly just woke up, not quite warmed up yet. Hopefully he is going to get warmed up pretty soon, because you don't want to see a ton of misses.
Kitsune does find a miss on that little wiggle right there. Everybody hitting the first hard rock pattern pretty decently.
So we see 2 double S's on each team so far. Fuhi above that 200 combo mark. Kitsune making it there as well. So the score difference is going to be tied. Although W making a drop there, so Russia going to start to get an advantage.
Oh yeah, not going to be tied for that much longer. And Henrik finding a drop too. It's really not good for the side of Canada.
It's only about a third of the map left, so this may have been a smart pick from Russia. Kitsune going to find a drop though. I don't think that's going to be enough to swing it back Canada's way.
Okay, not yet. They're going to need at least one more. Even another drop from Kitsune at this point, I think, might be enough, but Henrik, no!
Ooh, Uncareful going to find a drop finally, though. That's going to be big. W going to trade it. Kitsune also finding a drop. Henrik also found a drop at some point here. I think there's just not enough time for Canada to take it back. Nelly holding on very strong with that double S.
Oh, yeah.
And that is going to be a point for Russia. Not a break point, but it is a point they definitely needed to keep Canada away from that match point.
Slowly clawing it back. Saying, hey, we aren't done yet. Still got a little bit of fight left in us. Fuhi getting that one singular miss in the intro. Pretty nice for his first map played of today.
Yeah, his combo double that of his teammates, so that one miss, not a big deal. Fortunately, Russia just held on a lot stronger there. So we're going to see a pick from Canada now, and if Russia can make a break point, it will be tied up again. Hasn't been a lot of break points thus far, so you see that 2-4 and you think, wow, Canada's really just destroying Russia, but when you really think about it, it was just a single break point, so all they need is this one break point, and things are tied up again.
Very close match, I'd say.
Saw tiebreaker hype in chat. I agree, tiebreaker hype indeed. I want to see this Camellia map.
Is that going to be our third tiebreaker, possibly?
Be very exciting if so. It's Chorus K and Camellia all on the same map. Can't go wrong there.
Just give me a reason to keep my heart beating.
Canada going back to Hidden.
They did have some good luck on this previously.
This map, though, is a lot more, I'd say, RNG than the other map. The other map was more of a consistency based. Can you play this? Can you actually play the map? This one, you can kind of get really lucky and just FC it and be like, oh wow, wait, I did that. You know?
Yeah. This one also going to be lower AR. This is AR 8 versus the 8.5 we saw last time. So, going to get that much harder for those who aren't well experienced on Hidden.
Oh yeah. The thing is, it's only 146, so a singular miss is going to be very fatal for both of these teams. Although I feel like we're going to be getting a bit more than one miss.
I would assume so, probably, yeah. Just as both teams not super strong on him. We are going to see Zerkarian coming back in for Fuhi, and AoE coming back in for Uncareful. See some advice coming out in chat saying that if you can't play Hidden on this, just ignore the droplets and you'll be good to go. So perhaps there'll be some droplets there kind of hanging out, making it easy to get trapped by it. Heard of the spinner trap, now it's the droplet trap.
A little bit, but a lot of the problem with this map, at least for me, is there's sliders on like 180 combo where you kind of have to tap dash in the middle of them to get the big fruit.
Yeah, those are always tough, especially with Hidden on IR8 nonetheless.
The timing is really rough to get with it.
Yeah, it's one thing to get the timing down. It's a whole another thing to get it down when you can't even see what you're
Just
trying
give
to
me
be
a
hitting.
reason to keep my heart beating. Don't worry.
Shouldn't be seeing any misses in the first 100 combo though. Could be almost certain of that.
All we can do is hold on, hold on.
And indeed, everyone does navigate to 100 combo just fine. Kitsune gonna find a drop soon after though.
Oh yeah. Who's gonna be the next miss? Oh, there it is. AoE coming in. Canada still holding all those
Nelly,
combos.
a lot of drops there.
Oh yeah, that's the section that I was talking about where it's really hard to hit.
Yeah.
Look at those combos on the side of Canada. 245, 245, and then Zakarian still building his up. Oh, not anymore, but you know, you get the idea.
Yeah, Zakarian having some troubles, but W and Henrik doing just fine on it. Meanwhile, all of Russia's squad struggling quite a bit here.
You could tell that Russia's definitely not prepared to play this hit pick.
Yeah, that is for sure. They probably saw this pick and went, oh no, not this one.
Even though Zakarian is struggling a little bit, his team has got his back.
Yeah, Henrik and WW are going to make up for all of those misses, especially with all the misses coming out from Russia. No real stress on Zakarian's shoulders to outperform here.
Man, look at that point gap. That's like 400,000 points.
Yeah. It's looking like we might see 2 FCs on Canada's side, which, yeah, Russia nowhere close to an FC, so that is going to be a clean point for Canada.
No SSs though. A little sad, but still great scores.
Yeah, a couple droplet misses from both of the full combos on Canada, but that is going to bring us to match point Canada and a pick from Russia.
Zakarian mentioned in the chat. Thanks for the carry.
Yeah. Yeah, Zakarian just taking a nice little stroll through the park while his team boosting him up high.
As the world falls apart around us, all we can do is hold on, hold on.
So we're going to need to see Russia win their point here and then win a break point to get us to the tiebreaker.
Might go for Nomad 6.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
what my
expecting a
money
Nomad
is.
pick here.
Nomad 6 seems to be the most possible to win out of all these picks, I'd say. Hard Rock will fun, actually.
Nelly taking our advice and doing the opposite of what you suggest.
Ah, yes. That's the true pick. I
But
love this
then-
one, though.
Yeah, but then the real question becomes, if you're taking the opposite advice of a caster because they're going to curse you, but the advice to take the opposite also comes from a caster, then what do you do?
You know, that's a Blobosai moment. You ever seen that emoji?
I have, yes.
Oh, I love that
Good
emoji.
one.
I got it from one of my friends, Emily. She always used it, and I was like, oh, yes.
I don't even know where I have mine from. I have too many emotes. I have an emote for pretty much every situation. Kind of comes with the territory of being in like 60 servers.
Putting out random emotes is so fun sometimes with friends.
Oh yeah. So it looks like we are going to get www swapping out for somebody here.
Might be Fumi. That's what I'd say.
I could see it.
Did do pretty well on the last one.
Yeah, Russia gonna just double, triple down with their same squad here. Although it looks like Uncareful is back. I think we had AoE for the last one. Although that's the only swaps I've seen so far. Nelly and Kitsune being in for every single map. Korean switching to be top of the screen, enjoying the view. Still waiting to see who that third Canadian player is.
It's been quite a while. Oh, there he is.
So looks like we are going to see Fuhi coming in. I'm saying, okay, Fuhi, play for me. Alright, we do see the MP settings, so I believe this is going to be the final lineup. And we're going to see the map starting in just a second here.
Should be a pretty nice match. I would give the advantage to the side of Canada, though. But it is always possible Russia sneaks this point out.
Yeah, they're going for another interesting pick. We'll have to see if it works out for him this time. It didn't quite work out for him last time. We do see the start command coming out, so we're going to be hopping in.
Nobody getting any. Oh, he misses.
Yeah, we're seeing Kitsune take hidden again, so perhaps he is the one hidden player on Russia's squad.
First miss coming out from Manelli at about the 160 combo point, followed up by Uncareful right before 200 combo.
Very unfortunate spots for the misses. Yeah, kind of interesting to note, we saw Nelly was looking super strong early this match, and he's been having some trouble towards the end here. Not sure if it's just nerves, or if these picks aren't as good for him.
I think it's more towards the latter. Nelly is known as a really good Nomad player, very consistent. But on mods, he tends to struggle just a little bit more. This is a pretty strong triple FC coming out on the side of Canada so far.
We're going to see a miss from Henrik, but it's going to be traded by Nelly and Uncareful.
Oh yeah, that's not something you want to see on the side of Russia, but you get a miss from Zakarian.
Nelly and Uncareful are going to be trading now. So unfortunately, every miss that Canada finds, Russia is trading. So they can't quite get any advantage. Although we are down to only 2 FCs, one on each team.
There goes the last hope on the side of Russia. Kitsune finding that miss on those little streamy patterns.
Yeah, Uncareful finding another miss. Not looking good for Russia. Only a quarter of the map left. A massive lead on Canada's side. And unfortunately, if they don't pull out a win here, that is going to be the entire match going to Canada.
You know, the lyrics of the song fit so perfectly with how this match state is going. Even though we can't afford the matches over, it seems.
Yeah, we don't want to see it. I was hoping for the tiebreaker, but unless a player in Canada fails, which at this point, not going to happen.
Nope. And that's going to be it. Canada takes the match 6-3 over Russia. great match from both these teams. Fuhi coming in with that FC. Very strong performance.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the match extremely close in the beginning, a little less close towards the end, but still fairly close nonetheless. Canada going to be taking that win 6-3. Both teams did do great, though. Gotta say, I don't think either team should be that disappointed about their performance. Maybe just a bit sad about some of the unfortunate misses that came out. Yeah, you can see right there Zerkarian saying Nelly was the MVP for sure for Russia. He was definitely popping off very strong at the beginning there.
Oh yeah. Nelly did really good, even though his team didn't get that win. Still great performance from all these players.
Yeah, I think like you were saying, unfortunately, once we got to the different mod pools where they have a bit less expertise, it just kind of started going downhill for them a little bit. But that is going to make Canada move on to face Hong Kong in the quarterfinals.
Oh no, look at these schedules. We got Asia, America, Asia, Europe actually. And then we got Asia, America, Asia, America. Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
Those are going to be some interesting...
And look at this, we got even more Asian America. Oh god. These schedulings are not going to be fun. I'm sorry, Juan. You're going to have to figure out a way to make this all work. We got some great matches coming up next week. We got USA, Canada, China, Mexico. Those are going to be probably the two main matches for next week in terms of the winner bracket. Hong Kong, Canada could also be very good. I know that one of the main Hong Kong players, Otto West, is currently living in Canada as well, so that's going to be interesting. I know he's a little bit of a fan of the Canadian side.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that matchup goes.
And anyways, you guys know what time it is.
Indeed, we're going to be getting the showcase going at some point here. So I believe that was scheduled for 15 minutes from now. I'm not sure if we're going to be taking a small break or if we're just going to jump right into it.
Just a little bit of a small break. We can just chill out here, answer any questions that you guys want in the chat.
So yeah, get those questions going. Any last minute CWC food suggestions, I will be checking some of those out after this.
I also get some tiebreaker predictions in the chat. Nobody guessed the tiebreaker from last week. I think some people knew this map or didn't really get the map itself. I think this tiebreaker is going to be a lot more easier to guess than the previous tiebreakers.
See Puffbuck asking shoes or socks. I'm going to need a little more clarification on what you mean by that.
Well, to be able to wear shoes, you're going to have socks as well.
That is true.
You're just one of those weirdos that don't wear socks with shoes.
Hey, they could be wearing sandals or Crocs, you know.
Yeah, but I don't consider those shoes. Those are sandals.
That's true, yeah. They do miss some of the categorizations needed for shoes.
I see some interesting guesses in the chat. Nothing correct, though. Does tiebreaker next young recent map or old one? Could be kind of both if you think about it.
So does that mean a new mapping of an old song?
It could. You never know.
You never know.
Could also be the opposite. Actually, no, it can't really. But don't worry about that.
New mapping of an old song, yeah.
Ah, yes.
Nothing but the best for the World Cup here. We even go back in time to find our maps. See someone suggesting possibly BBKK. That is a pretty new map.
It is a new map. Well, not really. It's newly ranked,
Yeah.
but it was mapped in 2016.
Got a vote for Ago. It's always a classic.
I still haven't seen the mapper mentioned yet either. It's kind of surprising.
It's gonna be Dragon Force, I know it.
Oh, Crowley?
Yeah, Crowley? Can we get some Crowleys in chat?
And it seems like it is that time. Going to be introducing our two map pool showcase commentators, JVI Perion and Rogoku, fellow map selector Rogoku. How you guys doing?
Doing great, thank you. How about you?
We're doing pretty good. Just finished watching a pretty exciting match there of Russia versus Canada.
It's been a whole exciting weekend of matches, really. Like lots of close encounters, a few tiebreakers, some comebacks.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully plenty more to come next week.
Oh, absolutely. I think there's going to be a lot more fun matchups similar to this weekend coming out next weekend.
I think we're almost ready to see what our map pool is going to be, what those matches are going to take place on.
All I know is that I'm excited for this week. I'm sure a lot of people are excited coming week too.
You might change your mind when you see the map pool.
Maybe. But hey,
That's
maybe you might like it. It's a little spicy. Everything's always a little bit better with a little bit of spice, right?
Oh, that's for sure. Well, with us getting close here to switching over, it's going to be time for me to say goodbye. I have been Snow Leopard casting today, and I'm going to leave you in the very capable hands of Rogoku and JBH.
Yep, I'm going to be heading out too, so thank you guys for watching. See you next week.
Yep, thank you all. See you later.
Thank you very much, both of you. We're just about ready to get into our map pool showcase for the quarterfinals. Brand new series of maps, brand new series of challenges for our players. Can you give us a quick preview of what we might be looking forward to, Rogoku?
I think that we tried this week because we heard that mapper representativity was a bit low last week, so we tried this time around to put more different mappers in the pool, and also we tried to have, I think, an overall harder pool than normal quarterfinals pool. Especially Nomad, I think it's going to be pretty spicy to see what the Nomad pools are going to be.
Well, I think that's all very exciting, and we're just about ready to go. So
yeah,
let's see what our first map is going to be, and you can take us through them.
And the first map is Asking Alexandria Closure. This is a map by Dust, and this is speed/consistency oriented map. This is, I think, compared to the last two speed maps, this is not a speed tech oriented map. This is really a consistency oriented map. There's a lot of anti-flows and cross sprint jumps, but it's just mostly what you expect from a consistency map. You have this kind of cross jump patterns, this kind of speedy patterns in general, because this is a metal song, so of course this is going to be a bit faster than most songs on the floor.
Yeah, the 140 BPM is a little bit misleading on this one.
Yeah.
Very high density throughout, and as you said, although this is considered like the speed pick, it's nearly double the length of many of our previous speed picks, so you can't just quickly burst your way through this one and then take a deep breath at the end. You have to really concentrate all the way throughout.
Exactly, and also it's the stats are a bit higher than the usual stats that we see in CWC. This is an AR 9.6 and a CS 4.4 map, so CS 4.4 means that you are going to have these moments where on a speedy situation you can actually like miss a whole pattern because you're not precise enough. So this map also, I think, was ranked pretty recently, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 1st of April, so only about 6 or 7 weeks ago. Yeah. So if you've been playing actively recently, you've probably seen this map around, but maybe not got round to giving it a play just yet. But The time is now.
Time is now indeed, and the song is, I think, this is my style of song, I guess, so I'm a bit biased, but...
Yeah, it's definitely something that we don't usually see, or compared to a lot of the other alternative choices in various map pools.
Exactly. The map is actually fairly long, it's almost 4 minutes, so... this, I think, is going to train the constantly, and these jumps, as you can see, are really, really wide, so... Don't miss on them, especially because they are before breaks, and we saw that the distances in general, when we have a hard jump before a break, well, players tend to miss.
Yeah, going back to those large full screen jumps you were talking about, I think the key there is not only are they kind of quite huge, but they come after a lot of dense patterns with 1/4 hyperdashes, and then all of a sudden you're in like 3/4 and 1/1 hyperdashes.
Yeah.
So you can very easily underdash because you're expecting the catcher to go a lot faster than it actually does.
Also, there's a whole section of spinners, like 6 or 7 spinners in a row, so if I don't think we are going to see 6 waves after that, if we have a 6 wave after this part is going to be extremely interesting to see how players are going to optimize our banana routes.
You actually raise a really good point, because although this is quite a long map, so like a single miss on its own is not going to make too much of a difference in the score, but each banana is worth a fixed value, so it's potentially the case that if someone misses quite early or quite late, that they may be able to like overcome the other team just based on their spin if they have a really good spinning ability.
Exactly, and we saw that in this CWC we have some extremely good spinners. We even saw like last week with, this week with Team Canada 1 hour ago with a really good spin on one of the Nomad picks. So we will see how people are going to optimize. There are teams that are putting the effort to optimize the spins, which is why I say that this is a really important part of the map. As we are coming to the second Nomad, this is a map by Siamu, Nekomata Master Izanami no Nageke. This is actually also a fairly recent map. Siamu was a mapper that was introduced last year in CWC with Shield of Ares. I don't really remember the name of the map. This is another one of Siamu's map, and this one is extremely fun in my opinion. This is a tricky map. The star rating and the length of the map are a bit misleading because the map is 2 minutes and the star rating is like 5.86, but the map is way harder than that, especially because you have these extremely quick patterns and anti-flows towards the maps that are hard to catch.
A lot of these hyperdashes into the sliders that kind of curve the wrong, not the wrong way, but the way that you wouldn't normally expect them to. Because of the high tick rate, you have that big tick that sticks out in the opposite direction. I can see a lot of people missing on those if they're not changing direction quickly enough.
You really need to be precise, even though the CS is quite low, it's CS4, but you really need to be precise, and especially because the snappings are not the usual snappings that you see in I guess most of the songs, so there are some times where you need to be extremely precise on these returns pattern.
That looked like a little bit of a spinner trap. I think there was probably only a 1/2 gap there, and that was quite a long, dense spinner as well, so hopefully that doesn't catch too many people out.
I think that with sufficient training, like this kind of map is not really hard. It's I think going to be popular because this is a short map, and short maps tend to be popular. But this is definitely harder than it looks, and I invite everyone to actually try the map from this side.
Another long spinner and then a fairly calm section just to end.
As we are coming to the third node, so this is Sakura Burst Anti-Crystal by Team Philippines. This is a map from the Catch Mapping World Cup, I think the name of
that
the
is
tournament.
correct. It was the third round of the Mapping World Cup that concluded in October, November last year. So fairly recent, again, not quite as recent as the two we've already seen. But yeah, still fairly modern.
This is an highly technical map. I think that there's only one FC on this map. despite the low star rating of the map. And this is one of our like longest standing picks. We thought of this pick way earlier in the whole process of picking maps, and this map is extremely fun. This ramps up in difficulty a lot, but you have these mappings and that are extremely reminiscent of most Sakura Burst song, but in CTV it plays really differently, especially since the AR is 9.3, so sometimes it's, I guess, a bit slow, so some people can misread most of the patterns of the map.
Yeah, so this is, as you said, winning team from the Mapping World Cup. This entry brought to you by Sino, who is not actually a Filipino mapper, he's a Singaporean, but was competing on Team Philippines for reasons, as well as Bunrei and Jir, who have also both already featured in this year's CWC previous pools.
And I think that this also brings some modern technique mapping. As we discussed last week with the Nomad 4 pick, you have these slider hyper dashes that people need to be used to because this is starting to become extremely prevalent in modern mapping. So people really need to be comfy as playing this kind of slider. I really like this slider with the little light ticks.
The ticks that just stick out and then back in again.
This is extremely fun to play. But as we come to the last section of the map is starting to become quite hard actually. A lot of like these doublets are extremely evil to play because they catch you off guard. Most of the time with doublets, the problem is that people tend to forget one of the two foot. So on this, you can't really, because the most of the time the second foot is on hyperdash, and missing the doublet is leading to maybe one or two misses. So
yeah, I noticed that the slider velocity on those little doublets gets slowly higher and higher throughout, to the point where you need to almost hold dash for the length of the slider and treat it more like two circles rather than an actual slider.
And as we come to the end of the map, well, you have these, I don't really know how to call them, these streams, I guess, with doublets. These are really fun to play. I really enjoyed playing them when I was testing the map, and I hope that other people are going to enjoy this pick, because this, I think, is going to be a pick where, as Nomad 4, it depends on the team's ability to play the map.
Yeah, those slider streams looked kind of comfortable in that they're all nicely flowing, but the density could trip some people up.
As we will talk about Nomad 4 now. So this is Fallen Angel by Alien Flybot. This is a CS5 map, AR 9.5. So CS5, of course, is always a characteristic that is sticking out when we speak about map stats in general. And on this map, you really need to be extremely precise to play these CS5 patterns, because this map features a lot of H-dash chains, which means that if you overdash one of the hyper dashes, well, you can miss a lot of foot, and with CS5 it's really easy to overdash. Also, the map is fairly long too, it's 3 minutes and 1 second. 3 minutes of CS5 can be actually nerve-wracking, because CS5 is higher than the standard CS, I guess. And when you have a CS5 map that is long, you have the possibility of being so nervous at the end that you are going to miss one pattern entirely.
Yeah, we did briefly see some CS5 in the group stage pool with Koiko Enishi, which was obviously more focused on the strong jumps aspect. We saw some CS5 in, almost CS5 from Nomad 6 in Gardens Under a Spring Sky.
And
but here we have,
map.
Here we have some extended small circle size, or small fruits, I guess, for our players to enjoy.
And I think that is going to raise an interesting point about which teams are, more comfortable at playing no mods in general, because CS5 is something that no mod players in general are used to, because it's not that much higher than the usual. I guess that the usual no mod maps in high level is around 4.5, and for no mod players this is not necessarily hard, but maybe for the third player in the team that is changing depending on the map, this is going to be a tough map, and especially since it's long, it's hard to actually completely learn. So
yeah, that's interesting. There are some kind of skill sets where particular pattern or rhythm will only appear in a hard part of the map, and then you can maybe miss there but full combo the rest and still do a good job for your team. But if you're having difficulty being precise at CS5 over the course of 3 minutes, you're really going to have a bad time on this one. So
yeah,
teams will need to strategize around whether they have 3 people that can play this well.
And this last slider, who is extremely long, an extremely long slider, as we are coming to the end of the map.
And then we have a spinner to cap everything off too.
And Nomad 5 is the first convert, so as always we have 4 specifics and 2 converts. This is Borealis, the map is by Aka, and the artist is Ginika. This is a fairly recent, I think, ranked map. This map is a pretty old map, but it got the ranked statues maybe 1 month ago. And this is a pretty complete map with featuring jumps, snaps, and swims. So, but of the convert variety. So with jumps, you are going to have tight jumps. Maybe some people can consider them as being edge jumps, but these are less tight than normal edge jumps. You have also converse swims and converse snaps, because the song is pretty, I guess, techy.
Yes, so submitted September 2014, ranked March 2020.
Yeah.
So nearly 6 years to reach ranked, but finally there, and finally, obviously, getting a little nod appearance on the World Cup stage. Maybe not quite the World Cup stage it was originally potentially mapped for, but catch, we take converts. We have some love for them too.
Yeah. Converts, I think, are what defines catch. And when you go into multiplayer rooms, well, you see some of the converts like on a daily basis. And this one, I think, I didn't see it a lot in multiplayer, but there are definitely other people that knew this map way before it was ranked. The ending section is starting to become quite hard with these swims, and you're not obligated to wiggle, but of course, as always, map pool selectors like to wiggle every part.
Well, you see, as a commentator who doesn't have to play anymore, I like to watch people show off. So
yeah.
You'll impress me if you wiggle during the tournament match next week. And yes, that is the shortest pick at 1 minute 51 seconds in
exactly
this week's pool. So Nomad 6 is our last Nomad pick.
This is music by Dictate. This is Trision, and the mapper is real easy. This map is mostly focused on tech, with extremely weird slider shapes and a lot of slider jump. As I see, Ken is actually wiggling everything. This doesn't have the conventional timings that you will see. It's a bit similar to Antichrystal, with a lot of weird snappings, but at the same time the AR is way lower than, it's not way lower, but it's lower than Antichrystal. It's 9.2, so some people are going to have trouble actually reading these patterns with the snappings.
Yeah, so this is approach rate 9.2, exactly as our previous selection Borealis was, but these two maps look and play completely differently.
Yeah. I think that on this kind of map, accuracy is going to be extremely hard because the slider shapes are extremely weird, and if you want to catch the slider to assess it, you are taking risks. Because if you just go straight for the next foot, you are going to conserve the combo, but you are not going to have the full points for the sliders. However, if you want to, well, assess the map, you can, but you may miss a foot. So this is going to be an important decision for people that have trouble having a good accuracy on this kind of map.
Yeah, so looking so far, there don't seem to be too many kind of strong half dash like edge jumps, but there are a lot of like hyper dashes into like objects that move in the same direction, but you have to adjust your speed.
Exactly.
So you can't just immediately change direction and give yourself that maintaining momentum. You have to adjust your catcher speed to slow down, which is something that we don't see a lot of in like specific maps because they are described as like flowing weirdly, and of course converts are all about having strange flows.
Yeah.
So
But I think that this reinforces the fact that this map is a technical pick, because you need to be a normal player to play this kind of thing. You need to really get used to the fact that not everything flows perfectly in converts, but you need to readjust your caster, tap dash when it's not really normally supported by the song, and we will see the raw player abilities on this kind of map. This map is also of, I think, average length with 2 minute 30, but yeah, I think this is still a journey, and this is one map that I don't expect players to pick early, because you need to be extremely warmed up to play this kind of map.
yeah, it's pretty much right in the middle of length. We've got some that are just under 4 minutes and some that are just under 2 minutes, so
Yeah.
this is pretty close down the middle. And I think that's correct, as you said, that it's not going to be something that anyone wants to be opening with, but maybe something that you pick later when you feel that the opponent's starting to lose focus a little bit.
Exactly. As we finished with the nomad pool, and we are going to start with the hidden pool. And the first map is Meganeko Nova, mapped by JB Hyperion. I don't know if you know this map, or maybe.
I saw this map once before.
Yeah, I think. And this is our first hidden pick. This is reminiscent of Filio and Chopin. Issued OP25, because this is mostly a timing kind of hidden pick. The AR is pretty high, it's AR 9.3, so it's not going to be such a challenge to purely rig the speed of the foot, but because the timing is, I guess, a bit special on this kind of on this kind of song, well, it's going to be hard for hidden players to adjust to every single timing change on the map. And also there's a lot of anti-flows, a lot of patterns also that are hard, because it's not your typical, hyper dashes chain, but you have some more, I guess, complex patterns that you do not see on most generic maps.
Yeah, a lot of these breakdown sections here with the kind of warp sound effects have extended sliders that change direction very rapidly and often kind of not maybe necessarily in the direction you expect. So it can be very easy to miss by dashing away too quickly, or ticks by not getting the curve correctly.
Exactly.
We have a little calm section here, and then it builds back up into a more intense section at the end, and then this kind of continues for the remaining half of the map, where the anti-flow will get more prevalent and the hyperdash strength will get higher and higher.
On this kind of map, we saw that nerves were really something, because if you are not in the groove, especially we saw this in group stages, I think, but if you're not really in the groove, or you're not really feeling this kind of map, well, you can have a pretty disastrous showing on this kind of map, because you can miss every 200 combo, and well, it's not going to be a fun experience, I guess. But for if you're playing the map and you're extremely focused, well, it's a really fun map to play, and I think the map that is going to be maybe the most popular map in Hidden.
A JB Hyperion map being a popular hidden pick that doesn't get banned every single time. Who would have thought? Well, we'll see the remaining hidden picks first.
We'll see, yeah.
I love it when people say, "Oh, this is banned material," and it's the first map in the pool.
It's the first map in the pool. So,
Okay, that's hidden number 1.
this is hidden number 2, your favorite hidden pick, because this is the low AR hidden. This is Golden Slaughter by Dave. This is an AR 8.3 map that lasts 3 minutes and 25 seconds. This is a music from Umineko, which is my favorite source of music, and also I'm really happy that we have a Umineko map. But this is a low AR pick, and as every low AR pick, you have two kind of people that dislike the map and people that like the map. I'm on the second camp though. You have some wiggles in this map with the lower making the wiggles harder because you need to time them extremely well. So when you have slow, because this is 133 BPM, when you have slow wiggles with hidden and with lower, well, it can be extremely hard to play.
Yeah, so whereas Nova's difficulty is, like, the low BPM is somewhat offset by some of the very high density sections, there are some, like, dense sections here with 1/4 patterns and the wiggles that you can see, but they don't persist for kind of huge streams or bursts or chains of notes. They're often broken up into small bursts, then a few half patterns, and then they repeat. So it feels so much slower than Nova did, even though the BPM is only kind of 10 or so different.
Exactly. But the maps actually, the music ramps up, and it's becoming more and more intense. In the last part, especially of the map, the music actually starts becoming really crazy, and the patterns are reflecting that, because I think that most teams are going to combo until 700. Hidden specialists are going to combo until 700, but the end can be extremely hit or miss for some players but it's in key ISO. Some other players might have better, better ability to play the ending, but we will see. This is low AR, so it's really hard to know how teams are going to react, besides banning the map, I guess.
Yeah, you raise a great point there about like the first 700 or 800 combo not being too difficult, because this is such a long pick. Like, if you can make a really good combo at the beginning and one of your opponents has like a nervous miss or just slightly misreads something, you can give yourself a huge advantage if you can combo to this point, even if you don't do all that well at the end.
Exactly.
Whereas conversely, if you have an unlucky miss somewhere in the middle or in the first like 500 combo, then you can really start to feel the pressure, because you know that everyone else is probably doing quite well on that easy part, and you're putting all the pressure on yourself to do really well at this very difficult ending.
And as you can see, the map is starting to become more and more intense, and the last, you have a break, and then it picks up again with these little wiggles that are you can position most of them, but there are some patterns that you need to wiggle, so yeah, you really need to be focused to play this kind of map.
It's interesting to see how players will combine like the momentum changes of dashing normally when there's a 1/4 pattern and then hyper dashing as well, because given this is effectively a stamina test, it's the longest pick in the hidden pool. Anyone who's coming off of a hyper dash into a 1/4 dash is maybe gonna like release dash way too early, thinking they have more momentum than they do, and then miss the next wiggle and continue onwards with that. It requires you to constantly keep on your toes with, is this a dash or is this a hyper dash?
And for the last hidden pick, we have Tomodachi no Uta. This is a map by Tutu Haha, and as you can see, this time the map pool is not composed of two low AR picks. This is an IR pick with AR 9.5 and CS 4.1, so this map is also one of the longest standing picks in our pool. This is a really hard map to assess because the slider effects are really weird, but this is a short map, and maybe also this is a contender for being the most popular pick for the hidden pool, because this plays extremely well, but it has edge jumps, which is the main difficulty of the map. And it's hard to actually, when you look at the map, it looks a bit easier than it plays. The edge jumps are pretty tough, and with hidden, most of the time you don't really know when you are catching the foot at the, like you don't really know the exact instant when you are catching the foot. So edge jumps are a bit harder than
Yeah,
normal.
some of those strong half dashes look like they're combined with hyper dashes in some instances as well, which, especially when there's long chains of them back to back, can really throw players off if they don't have great positioning.
Yeah. And the map is pretty short, it's under 2 minutes, so this means that you can have crazy comebacks on this kind of map, especially since it's a jump map, so it's extremely possible to see a team miss in the middle section. This has no spinners, but the accuracy is actually so hard that I don't think we...
Well, there's some very weird, like S-shaped slider coming out of the hyper dash there.
Exactly. The map is already finished. This is a pretty short map, so the end is also pretty tough, but at least it's not edge dashes but hyper dashes. As we are coming to the hard work pool with the first hard work, Onumi Rigurt Part 1, a map by Sorcerer, and a pretty famous map in the hard work community, because this is a kind of map where hard work is extremely fun to see. It distorts every single pattern, and the music is extremely tech oriented, so you are going to see players that are going to be extremely confident on this kind of maps because they find the map pretty easy. It's hard work. Even in hard work, even Nomad, I know some Nomad players find this map extremely easy. But there are some other players that may not find this kind of pattern easy because they have trouble reading these hard work deformed patterns. Even if they aren't really harder to play per se, but they are pretty hard to read.
Yeah, so when I saw this first on the map pull sheet, I thought, that could be quite interesting with Hard Rock, because it does focus a lot on streams composed entirely of circles. And I thought, well, hold on, Sorcerer's a mapper who usually makes a bunch of streams out of sliders, and when they play with Hard Rock, they look pretty much the same, just with smaller circle size and maybe an odd edge jump here or there. So I was interested to see how this one turns out. And as expected, there are some very interesting stream deformations. Some of them do not look at all how you would expect them to.
Exactly, but it's not that hard mechanically. This is going to be for other players a fix that is comfortable to play, even though it's a bit, I guess, the snappings are a bit different than most of the maps, and the timing is a little bit dicey from time to time because this is an Onumi map, so a lot of complex rhythm. I don't think this map is extremely hard, it flows pretty well, so for most hard players, this is going to be a popular pick. And you have some little wiggles, I guess, on this map that you need to be focused to play. The first half of the map might be harder than the second part of the map, but you have this wiggle in the second part that are pretty hard to catch. So for the second hard work pick, you have Grand Force Salwas. This is a map by Mafu Mafu, also known as Wegwaz for some people. This is a standard mapper who recently tried this hand at CTV, and Salwas is one of his maps. This is more standard in terms of timings and general map structure, but this map features some triangles that are pretty hard to catch with hard work, and the CS also is quite a bit higher than 5.2. It's 5. If I'm not mistaken, it's 4.3 with without hard work, so this should be 5.6 with hard work.
5.6,
so,
yeah.
So it's a bit hard to. It's a bit hard to actually control your capture, but the flow of this map is more linear than the flows that you can see on We Go at Part 1, for example.
Yes, this is a map that I am very familiar with. Mafu Mafu is actually my mentee in the mentorship program for Catch. So this was the first map that they kind of linked to me and said hey, check out my map and tell me how I can improve it and what I did wrong. So we've discussed this map a little bit. The key thing that I'm going to be looking for in this one is towards the end, there's quite a tricky section where the rhythm switches to 1/3 and there's lots of triangles and anti-flowing repeat sliders that I think could be very difficult when combined with stronger hyper dashes and some strong dashes as well.
Exactly, and you've got also these triplets pattern, like linear triplets pattern, which are interesting because you can either walk them or tap dash at the beginning of each one of them, and if you have extremely good control you can purely walk them, but it's pretty hard. I only managed to do it twice and 50 I think that's phase, but if you near the end you're obligated to actually dash them, and this one shot section is extremely tough. You really need to be precise, and you are going to see misses near the end, especially with nerves.
The first part of that stream towards the end looked really deformed, so you had to hyper dash into it and then stop and then keep moving in the same direction, which is a real flow break towards the end. But other than that, that looked really, really good.
And for the last hard rock pick, you have The Sun and the Moon, sung by Felt. The map is Silverius, of course, this is a converted pick. And this time, we tried something for the hard rock pool. We tried to pick an extremely high CS map. This is CS 6.76. So this is quite a bit higher than most quarterfinal hard rock maps that we can see. This is, however, easier to play, I guess, than the patterns are easier to catch than the normal maps. The problem is that when you are playing a tournament, you play various maps, and you are not used to switch to CS 6.76 like that. So the first half of the song is actually pretty slow, so it gets you used to the CS. But the map is actually picking up in intensity near 300 combo, where it starts to become quite a bit harder.
Yeah, you can see we're about a third of the way through 300 combo now, and the dash key has only been used a couple tens of times, and maybe not all of those were strictly necessary if you're kind of reading and memorizing parts of the map in particular. So adapting to this from whatever was picked next, or whatever is going to be whatever was picked previously or whatever is going to be picked next, is going to be really interesting, unless people just decide that they don't want to deal with that kind of change and then they just ban this, but obviously having to leave something else open.
Exactly.
One thing that's really interesting for me here is the difference in the BPM and the density between this and the other two picks from the Hard Rock 2 specifics. We've got 200 BPM, 188 BPM, and then this is 86. I mean, it feels a little bit faster than that because it's like an alternating kind of style, but this is really not uncomfortably slow that everything becomes a memory jump, but it's very slow.
Very slow. I think most players needs to read towards the higher part of their screen, which is actually pretty tricky, because if you read really high on this kind of map, because the CS is almost 7, you are lacking in precision, so you are going to miss most of the fruits. And this is going to really test players' ability to read high CS. High CS is not something that everyone is acquainted with, even harder players. There are some harder players that do not play at all high CS, so yeah,
finding a balance between reading upcoming patterns and also kind of micro positioning your catcher for the smaller circle size is going to be something that is going to be really interesting to see how different people approach this map in different ways.
And it's actually pretty doable to assess the map. Even though it's ICS and stuff, you can actually assess the map. I almost assessed it. I was a bit nervous near the end, so I missed a drop that, but this is, I think, a pick that might, I think, be a bad magnet, but at the same time, the pick is for non-hardware player, maybe the opportunity to actually get an appearance on a hard rock pick, so yeah. As we will go for DT1, so I'm going to try to not butcher the name. This is Shuomai. This is a map by Dapu, and this is an AR 8.6 8.5 might 8.5 I cannot speak 8.5 yeah so this is
you changed your mental language to Chinese in advance.
Yeah.
Numbers don't work anymore.
This was a bit hard. This is a pretty known Chinese song, I think. I've heard this song before, and I'm not Chinese, so I think this is pretty much a known song. This map is mostly I guess, controllable GT pick. This is going to be a map that a lot of teams are going to like, even though it's AR 8.5, so it's a bit fast for most players that are used to 8 GT, for example. This is faster than last week, for example, where the highest AR was 8.2. So, but overall, the patterns of the map are pretty flowy, and I think that most players are able to play this kind of map really easily.
Yeah, AR 8.5 DT working out at exactly AR 10, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly.
Not too much in the way of density to be discussing, really. Like, even though with double time being added, BPM is only kind of 170, which is not hugely high for a double time pick. And the main focus is going to be on back to forth half jumps with some streams and some small 1/4 dashes as well, as you can see there.
Actually, pretty hard to miss on this. Not to miss. It's actually pretty hard to. If you are a GT player, you are used to this kind of map, but it's actually pretty hard to stay consistent on every single pattern because there are some dashes where you can easily like get a split second of, I don't know, unfocusedness. I don't know how to say that, but you can easily miss and maybe miss 2 or 3 foot due to the AR. So you can. This can be a risky pick, but I think this is going to be a popular GT pick, nonetheless.
Yeah, interestingly, pretty much all the double time picks in this round are almost exactly the same length, working out at about 2 to 2.5 minutes when double time has been added. So not much to choose from between like length bonuses or endurance. But here's number 2.
The map are still vastly different, as we can see with the number of the map. This is Shun Shun Shuketsu. This is a map by Wakma, and this is an AR 7.5 this time map with DT, so the map is really dense, and even denser than that, it's almost 300 BPM. This is a really hard map to play because this is more akin to a Wayne than a Plateau, so it's pretty hard to play with DT. This is going to be, I think, a really interesting pick for the teams who want to actually play DT, because 7.5, even AR 8 players are not really against this kind of AR. This is a really weird AR to play, and this features extremely fast anti-flow. So it's, I guess, the added bonus of the map being a bit easier to read for lower AR players, I guess. The map is mechanically harder than the last map that we saw, for example.
Yeah, so while reading is made slightly easier by the lowered approach rate, this map has a lot of, I think, gimmicky patterns, but there's a lot of instances where you're moving kind of full horizontal and then you'll stop into a completely vertical slider, and then you'll go back into horizontal movement, and you have to do these little tap dashes between vertical patterns. So maintaining momentum and deciding when the perfect time to stop is, especially when you have the fluid kind of speed of the catcher being increased due to double time, is going to be really interesting to see how people manage that, because it's definitely not flowy compared to a lot of the maps that we've seen in previous pools and even in this pool.
And also I'm thinking of, there are some teams like USA or Hong Kong who has one player who always plays DTHD, for example, and on this kind of map DTHD, well, it's really hard. I've tried with DTHD and I still it, but I think that DT only is the safest bet, so yeah. We will see how this pick is going to matter. And for the last map, we have CLC PEP or PP. I don't know how to say this name, but this is the converted pick. We are coming back again to AR 8.5, so AR 10 with DT. But the CS is a bit higher this time. This is CS 4.3, so it's pretty hard to catch if you are not really good with DT because you need a lot of control, especially on this kind of converted picks where in converted picks, well, you need to be more precise in general with the jumps, and because there are some pretty large dashes and large jumps on this map, you really need to be precise when you are dashing on this kind of pick with this, on a converted pick. This was a bit long-winded, but you get my point.
Yes, some love for K-pop in the chat, some not quite so strong emotions, but yeah, very interesting pick. Lots of small kind of tap dashing sections as well, some anti-flow, some of those little wiggling triangles that we've seen in a lot of specifics as well. But a lot of kind of really strong half dashes and also some kind of one-quarter anti-flow that requires you to stop your catcher very precisely as well.
This is a K-pop map, so this is we filled like every single case in the unofficial bingo. We have a 2 map, a Bandaway song and a K-pop song. So
you thought that the bingo square was looking a bit empty, so you just throw out some free cards.
Exactly. But unfortunately, it's not really on the bingo. But I think that some people are going to be happy to see K-pop in CWC.
I'm excited to see the tiebreaker. I haven't seen anyone guessing much in the chat.
As always, nobody managed to guess a tiebreaker.
You've managed to do good at keeping tiebreakers under wraps so far this year.
This is pretty fun. Actually, this is a bit unexpected because tiebreakers tend to get, I don't know. People are really good at guessing tiebreakers, but this time nobody guessed it. As we will see the tiebreaker. This is Alozi, so I'm going to try and not butcher the name again. Kikoku Dukoku Jigokulaku. This is a map by Wakma, Ascendance, and Bunway. And this is a pretty long map even for a tiebreaker. This is closer to 6 minutes than 5 minutes, and I think that this is going to be an extremely good map to see if we have a tiebreaker situation, because it's extremely varied. You got patterns that are akin to the converted map of this song, who are slider shapes, weird slider shapes, and slider shapes into slider jumps. So we really have extremely interesting pattern, and you can really feel the mapping styles of Bunway, Wakma, and Ascendant through this map, and this makes for, in my opinion, a really enjoyable experience playing this map.
Yeah, it's been a little while since we've seen Halo Z tiebreaker. They used to be very common in both CWC and community tournaments, but making a little return here. I think you said this is a really kind of complete pick that, as tiebreakers should do, it tests a little bit of everything. There's kind of calm sections which require you to hold your nerve, some large half dash distances, some tap dashing, some wiggling, these trademark high slider velocity sections that you kind of expect because of paying homage to the Notch Hell Hollow Wings convert that is obviously incredibly famous.
On this map, we also have, I guess, the slider shapes are becoming crazier and crazier. On the last GIs, you are going to see that the slider shapes are extremely interesting. But in the beginning, it's still hard to actually catch. And yes, this is Notch Hell for those who actually do not know this map set in particular. This is a really famous converted pick. But this is a specific pick, and a really fun one. Every single TI is going to be a choke potential, I think, for everything, because sliders are hard to play.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of these kind of sliders where you're moving in one direction and then you stop and change direction during the body of the slider throughout this pool. We saw them in the anti-crystal pick and in a few of the converts as well. So maybe a little running theme through this week's pool.
Yeah, and we also have those vertical doublet streams that we saw in Chun Chun Chugetsu also, that are also pretty prevalent in the school, I guess. This is not necessarily a running theme or something, but this is something that we try to introduce because this is one of the more modern technique mapping. And even though these vertical sliders, for example, are, in my opinion, a bit of an homage to old school mapping, maybe. But this makes control extremely important because you need to be really good at stopping your catcher. It's not extremely flowy, I guess.
Yeah, quite a lot of direction changes in and around those 1-4 kick sliders. Some of which are vertical, some of which go with the flow, some of which cause you to change direction. And yeah, you're not always certain like which the next one is going to be, so it definitely requires you to pay attention at all times and make sure that you keep focused.
And I think that this time around, this tiebreaker is pretty hard. I do not expect to see like 6 way saves on this kind of map because last week people found the tiebreaker to be a bit easy compared to the rest of the pool, and the week before a bit hard compared to the rest of the pool. I think this time it's really in between, where this is a really good difficulty to test players' ability to play all of these modern techniques and to play sliders too, because sliders are they are something that you need to train separately, I guess. You don't really see sliders on every single map like this kind of long sliders, so this is really, I think, a memorable map.
Yeah, so maintaining accuracy on long sliders is something that's a little bit neglected in catch, and in particular in Score V1 because worth effectively nothing, but also in Score V2 because droplets only make up like at most 10% of the score, and generally spinners out kind of perform like if one person misses a droplet but then another team misses a banana in the spinner, then the team that spun better is almost always going to win.
Exactly.
But in this instance, the sliders are so crazy. You can see here with them having like hypers on the big droplets as well.
Exactly.
It's something that is going to require people to focus on accuracy a lot more than they normally would, because if you don't follow the slider almost perfectly, you are going to miss one of these big droplets and break combo. It's not just a case of, oh, I can ignore some droplets here and focus on catching the big fruit. You really don't have that luxury here.
And I think that these hyper dashes droplets in particular are really hard for a lot of players. We saw with, for example, Chroma I, who has a slider with this kind of droplet. It's really hard for a lot of players to catch them. So we are going to see how people are going to play this kind of ending, but the real ending of the map is a bit slower. Still, it ramps up in difficulty a lot, so with nerfs, it's going to be extremely interesting if we have a tiebreaker situation to see how it's going to play out.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That will be the 16 picks from next week's quarterfinal stage, for the Ask Catch 2020 World Cup. Same as always, 6 no mod, 3 hidden, 3 hard rock, 3 double time, and of course 1 tiebreaker, as you have just seen. Our players will have 1 week to practice, and they'll be back again next Saturday to compete in the quarterfinal stage. We'll work out scheduling and determine who's going to be playing what, when, but we know who's going to be playing who, and you can see that summary on the screen right now. So our winners bracket competitors, the ones that have not yet lost a match. Korea will be facing off against the United States, Italy versus Indonesia, China against Mexico, and Hong Kong versus Canada. 4 quartering matches with excellent prospects for big teams to get knocked down to the losers bracket and some other really strong teams to stake their claim. And then on the losers bracket side of things, everyone on 1 final chance to stay in the tournament. We've got Chile versus the Philippines, 2 excellent top-seeded teams. Taiwan versus Poland, 2 very high seeds that have got a lot to prove. Germany versus Belgium. Belgium making their first ever appearance in a knockout stage, looking to go as far as they possibly can. And France making maybe a little bit of an earlier trip to the losers bracket than they would have hoped for against Russia, who have had a little bit of a tumultuous experience in the group stage with that late tiebreaker but looking to settle the nerves and go as far as they can. So 4 of those teams that I just mentioned will be going home next week. Everyone else will be looking to continue on as long as possible. So,
Exactly.
from myself, JB Hyperion, and Rugaku, our map selector, thank you so much again for your help in discussing the pools with us.
Thanks, and thanks for the players to actually still like keep playing the pools. I think that this time around we really put our hearts into making the pool as diverse as possible. So I think that most players are going to have at least one map that they are going to really like, and they are going to play a lot. We will see if we will see maybe other tiebreakers on the quarterfinals. We are, I think, subscribed to tiebreakers.
We had 3 tiebreakers this week, which is great. So almost half the matches had a tiebreaker. So it would be good to see some more.
Catch World Cup is now officially the tiebreaker World Cup, so this is pretty fun. Thanks a lot for watching the map pool showcase, and I hope you guys are going to have fun on this map pool. Have a nice day.
Yeah, so thank you very much from both of us. Please follow us live on the Twitch channel. Obviously, you'll get notified when we go live. Follow us on Twitter as well if you want to get updated that way. If you haven't bought a banner and you want to support your favorite teams and players, please go over to the store, pick one up for just $2.50. You get to keep that for the duration of the tournament. Team wins, you get to keep it for just a little bit longer so that your undying support continues towards the next World Cup. So we'll be back again with a schedule very soon, and we'll be back with streams, our commentators and casters, next Saturday. So until then, hope you have a great week, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll be back with some more fruit catching fun in a week's time. Don't miss us, we'll see you soon.